It's me, Zenobia darling. You're listening to hashtag Rockstar Life, the Coffee Break podcast. Let's go. Where the hell's my cold brew at? Okay, and I'm live, so we are doing this with some technical fun. I refuse to come to Earth. I'm in my UFO. Me and Melvin are chilling. So I'm here with one of my good friends, a podcaster, a Bravoholic, someone who brings me sprinkle cookies from ShopRite all the damn time. I have Semajh Bludson.
All the holics.
Oh yeah, all the holics. No longer in the DMV. You're in freaking Brooklyn, having fun. So,
Brooklyn, baby.
Oh, yeah. So what's up? How are you today? How are you for this little coffee break?
I am feeling blessed and highly favored and out of this world because we are, like you said, we're not coming down to Earth. We're in space, baby. We're with the aliens and the stars and the alien superstars and all of Beyonce's fans. So We're having a good time away from this Earth is ghetto, and I want to leave.
Exactly. That's why I'm not coming down. There's too much chaos. You got too much darkness, too much craziness. You got, Jen Shaw trying to do stuff from prison. So I'm staying away. I'm near Saturn.
People giving out sprinkle cookies when it should be pignoli cookies.
I know.
Too much tequila, too much.
So before we get started, this is a coffee break. What are you drinking?
So speaking of, I'm actually drinking a homemade espresso peppermint mocha martini. We've got some Coffee Mate peppermint mocha coffee creamer, some espresso from Starbucks,
Ooh.
And then the ingredients is Lisa Barlow's Vida Tequila Añejo.
Oh, and it's not even noon yet. I love it. I'm having an orange crush. I made myself.
Nice.
Yeah, this should be fun. I figured it's a coffee break, but I already had a cold brew from Dunkin', so whatever.
Yeah.
It's all good. I love that you have the Vida Tequila. You love Miss Lisa Barlow.
That's my girl. And honestly, 12 o'clock, 5 o'clock, who cares? We're in space. There's no time up here.
Exactly. It's always dark. It's always party time.
It's just now.
Yeah, it's
just
now. We're in the present moment. Ooh. All right, so you are the host of the Me I Am Canceled. Have you been canceled yet? Hell, I haven't been canceled yet as a mystery. But again, I'm a drag queen and I'm a comic, so.
Zenobia, that's a question I get a lot. Have I been canceled? I feel like, because that question came up so much, I think I just went ahead and canceled myself, which is how this podcast came about. And it's just my journey through cancellation and back. But actually, I think if you ask my coworkers, I might be canceled. I got a text message from my manager yesterday, apparently with like my clothes having spilled out everywhere. And she's like, "What is this?" I'm like, my emergency clothes. She's like, "Come on." Because I guess
God.
like,
well, you're learning. What is it? You're learning and growing. You're listening and learning.
I'm learning. I
love a bitch on a journey. I love it. Ooh.
Yeah, and I told her, I'm like, listen, I'm like, I don't know who's not being accountable there and saying they knocked up for my stuff. I'm like, but it wasn't me, Shaggy. Like, I'm not there. I'm not. Whoever did this, they need to own up to number one, and it's not me. And then they reply back for like, I don't think it was someone here. I'm like, well, who was it? Because it wasn't me, girl.
It was someone else, not me. It was a ghost.
Wasn't me.
It was a ghost. Okay, so we know each other through like the Bravo podcasting community, which is a very interesting community. Like, not to be shady, but I have some thoughts. So like, I don't know. So we've known each other probably for like 3-4 years. So always been in touch. I've been on your podcast before, like back in the day.
And you'll be back on again.
Yes.
Once I fix this spaceship.
Well, that's a good spaceship. Well, I'll teach you some of my theater degree shit. Like, I'll teach you how to do sound tech.
Please do. Like, please don't let my audio production degree go to waste. Please help me remember this stuff.
Well, it's all good. So the Bravo podcasting community, I find so fascinating because, like, and this is not shading anyone in particular. It's just my. What was that? I love everybody. Book me. I just have this vibe with it where it's like a lot of them were not the cool kids in high school. So them podcasting about Bravo is kind of how they're living it. So a lot of them have like a very high school mentality. So you have someone like me who like just doesn't give a fuck. Plus I'm a professional drag queen and like performer. Yeah. And it just doesn't mix. They don't get how the industry actually is, which I just find there's a few like you, there's a few others who are way more professional, and a lot of Yeah, but there's other ones I'm like, what planet are we on? Like, I'm not doing a podcast on a fucking iPhone, like a taped phone call. Like, it's a podcast.
No, I totally get that. Like, I feel like, so yeah, definitely some people, they were never at the cool kids table, so now this is their cool kids
Yeah.
table, which is great. You know, like, make your own path, be a trailblazer, beat to your own drummer. And I think it's cool. But yeah, it's like sometimes I think some people in that space will get carried away and like make it more than what it is or what it needs to be. Like, you know, for example, it'll be, you know, like let's say during the season of Beverly Hills, and like they'll all find like one person to have on the show, and they'll rotate that guest out throughout everyone's shows. But then you never see that person again on the pod, or it's like, you know, if the opinion of the public is not shared by the opinion of the podcasters, then it's like you guys are stupid, you guys are racist, you guys are this, you guys are that.
Oh yeah.
But you know, that sounds weird because like it really is like just you. So I think when people criticize and critique people's podcasts, it's almost like you're criticizing the podcaster because it's them putting their stuff out there.
Yeah.
So there's like, you know, good with podcasting. There's things that can be improved. And in the Bravo podcasting community, it gets so heated sometimes. Like, I thought we were gonna have fun.
Yeah, and that's the thing. And I've kind of had this where like because I do my own booking and I know how to like book myself. I mean, I'm booked and blessed, and I noticed I would try to do it and it's like they don't know how that works, and it's like, hello, you're getting a professional stand-up comic. You're getting a legendary drag queen. Like,
A Kenny Center honoree.
Yes. Thank you. Yes. People, I forget my title half the time, but yes, I do have a title from the fucking Kennedy Center. And it's like, I really ran into that. And it's like, yeah, just because I'm in fucking Baltimore doesn't mean like, you know, I'm in Baltimore because the rent's cheap and I'm close to my family. I don't got to be in LA doing this shit. So
yeah,
it's like, it's stuff like that. But, you know, it's interesting. And I've noticed that there's been a few, like, I'm fascinated right now by Ryan Bailey because he's really made the transition from, like, indie podcaster to, like, big-time podcaster.
Oh, I love him. Literally, after the first time I heard his first episode, I DM'd that man. I'm like, you're a star.
Yes.
And look at him.
Like, I consider him, like, a new generation of, like, Howard Stern. Like, it's just so fascinating because, like, he's even on other podcasts and he's talking about, like, you know...
On the list.
Yeah, and like how like he's not used to doing this stuff himself and how he's dealing with like professional podcasters and how they do stuff and he's like commenting on it. I'm like, yes, like I'm so fascinated by that journey. So
yeah, no, he literally just did Doute's podcast, Kristen Doute's podcast, our patron saint over here up in the
Kristen Doute. You know Kristen Doute, that painting I did of hers is going to be the cover art for this episode.
I can't wait. That's amazing.
Yes.
And now he's literally right now on the way to the following podcast is a Dear Media Productions. He's on his way to the Dear Media Studios right now to record an episode of Shenanigans with Sheena Shea.
I love Sheena Shea. Hi, I'm Sheena. She's my favorite. Every time she's the one Vanderpump person I do an impression of on stage, and people know who I'm fucking talking about. Normally they're like, Vanderpump, who's that? And then I do that. Hi, I'm Sheena. I'm at corner, and they're like, oh my god, there she goes. Or I love it when she's like crying and like, I don't work this job. Like, I need to go to my audition. Like, oh my god.
Is TV gold. She's good as gold, but she's reality TV gold.
Yeah.
Like, honestly, I love my Bravo Taurus girlies. It's Sheena. It's Kim Zolciak Bierman.
Oh, God. You want to know some tea about Kim Zolciak right now? I just saw this. She's trying to sell her Chanel bags for like upmark like thousands of dollars. I'm like, girl, like how thirsty are you for fucking money? Like,
that's funny. She's my bag. I'm Kim Zolciak.
Yeah.
She's silly. I got Karen Huger on my roster, Luann de Lesseps, Alexia Ola. I have Drew Sidora. Also, one of those Summer House or Winter House girls, their birthday is in May too. They're also a Taurus. But yeah, I have a pretty good roster. I mean, Therese.
I'm a May Gemini though.
Even better. I do enjoy a May and a June Gemini.
Yeah. Ooh, I love it. All right, so you used to live in the DMV. You're now not, which is interesting. So like what are your thoughts on like DC gays? I know that we have had this conversation, but like DC gays, there's just something like they're either really uppity and bougie and ridiculous, or they're like at a club fighting at like 10:30 at night.
I find them overall bland.
Yes.
Like I feel like on their best days, they're a 6. The best men on is our 6. I feel like there's a lack of personality there, and they're just lacking flavor. There's no flavor, there's no sauce, there's no Riz. Like, you know, like there's nothing like a New York City man. There's nothing like a New York beep. So
I love it. I love it. Do you like you were in Baltimore a few times, like
couple times, yeah.
Baltimore gays are different. Like Baltimore just in itself like has its own, like I'm a Baltimore gay, like proudly. It's way more laid back and creative, and like we take being trashy and being kind of ridiculous. Like we're very flavored, but we're chill and laid back. We make it our culture. That's like John Waters.
You guys definitely have flavor, some Riz there for sure. Like anytime I like had matches with anybody, I was like definitely like immediately like, more interested by far than any of the DC gays. Like I don't know, it just seemed very homogenous, very uniform, very color coded in more ways than. But like yeah, so literally anytime I went out amongst the public of the DC gays, I'm like, it's not giving. Now, obviously, it's not every single one because I did make friends down there that do fall into that group. So shout out to the girls. You know who you are. I love you guys. But as a whole, majority, it's not giving.
It's not. Yeah. Baltimore's where it's at. And like I sent you my art film. You can find on my website. It's shot in East Baltimore, like in my hometown of Havertys. Like
that was a great clip. Number one. I mean, your callback to the skinny pina colada was everything. The pineapple and the Malibu pina colada. Paris Hilton will be proud. And I think you even mentioned Paris Hilton too. But I'm getting to spend the day with you through that clip. It was so great.
Like, what were your thoughts on it? Because like you understand that style of reality show. Like you understand what like the editing was, but I put it together and you kind of saw the joke behind all of it. And plus you got to see like the legendary Baltimore drag queens that like Baltimore has the best drag ever.
No, that was great. I mean, you took us like to the art studio, to behind the scenes. We got to see you actually paint and create was really cool. We got to see you shop it around. And then we got to see you flip back over, to just, the other versions of yourself. And like you were like behind the bar, you were carrying shots, you were backstage telling who you found right in the audience. Like you really took us through the whole journey, and it was really cool.
Oh, I love it. I love that. Like that whole thing makes me so happy. But I love it.
Yeah, do more, please do.
Oh, Melvin started meowing. So cameo to Melvin.
Hi Mel, hi baby.
He wants to go outside so bad. I think there's a cat outside, but I don't know. There's cats in space. I don't know. He loves it. Baby. Okay, so now we get that out of the way. Let's get into some gay football. Let's have some football talk about Bravo, the Real Housewives.
You say Bravo?
Yeah.
My ear just...
It's Bravo. Okay. Let's bitch. I need a bitch sesh. Like, I need one. Okay, first up, Real Housewives of Potomac, our hometown ladies. I gotta say, this season is boring as fuck. Last season was boring. I do appreciate, because I am very big in the paranormal, I appreciate the voodoo witchcraft storyline. And I will say they're getting it wrong. They're not putting something on they were saying a shrine.
Yeah, no, NECA was saying that Dr. Wendy's mom is submitting names to shrines.
Yeah, a shrine is grief witchcraft. It's what you use to grieve somebody. What they're thinking of is an altar.
Okay.
Which
all right, well, good to know. Yeah,
because that's what they keep saying. That I'm like, no, she's probably putting it on an altar. That's a difference. Like, but I find that fascinating, and I also think it's like I wish that would happen on like Salt Lake City.
Well, we had it the first time on Beverly Hills. The iconic Carlton Jebbia, aka Witchy Poo.
Can she come back? Can she? I miss her.
Only because that lady just unraveled and unhinged Kyle at any given moment. And honestly, Beverly Hills is at its best when we have an unhinged Kyle Richards. Like an unhinged Kyle is a good Kyle. It makes for the best seasons.
Yes.
When I was like chilling out and just like, I'm just here having fun, guys. Like it's so boring, but like when Kyle is actively losing her shit, it's a good time.
Oh yeah, and like Carlton did that because Carlton is a trashy British witch, which is the best. Is the best.
And Kyle was upset. All she was breathing.
Exactly. And then Kyle brought in Richard Ramirez, and I'm like, girl, bye. Like, Richard Ramirez is not a witch. Like,
so annoying. But back to our girls in Potomac. So I actually don't like that we're doing this storyline for a few reasons. One, it's like, really, we're going to do this on the Black Show, number one. Like, we don't do that. We really don't.
Yes.
And then two, to take that further, maybe that does happen in the Nigerian culture, but like, let them explain that. Like, don't have Ashley, little Miss Light Skin, Light Bright Ashley come on here and like Candace was saying, put the two Nigerian dark skinned women against each other. Because like, I love how producers did keep cutting back to Ashley saying, "Oh well, maybe it wasn't like that. I didn't mean to say it like that." Like she just
Ashley knew what she was doing.
Yeah, I'm like, this is not a good look. And then like, I don't like how like they like distorted Dr. Wendy's mom's like very obviously like Christian Catholic prayer with like that weird music. It just feels icky. Like, and then like this week's episode when they did the flashback to saying that like well, Wendy's mom said something about Mia. Why why are we doing this? Why are we going here? Exactly. There's so many other things or I don't like it. But I did like at the pickleball party with Mr. and Mrs. Pickle, Karen and Ray.
Oh, with her camel toe. Her green camel toe.
When Bob bumped into the fence and the trays fell over and Candace was like, "This is the demons coming to get us."
And really, it was just Juan being a douchebag.
At this point, maybe he is a demon. Like I'd be terrified for Robin if she ever decides to like sage her house, because who knows is going to be left. It might just be her and a kid.
Well, I mean, if she needs someone to come do some like cleansing, call me. but you know this, like just from living in Maryland. These ladies are so geographically vastly apart from each other. It's insane. Like, I'm literally like, they're driving, like, I'm trying to think. Dr. Wendy lives up in, I think, lives near Reisterstown, which is like northwest Baltimore. Like,
and sometimes, yeah.
Like past Baltimore County and Carroll County. You get freaking, well, Mia used to live on Key Highway right in the Inner Harbor across the Visionary Art Museum. She moved to Potomac to that big house, rented house.
Yeah, rent.
And now she's back in Bethesda. Of course, she tried to say North Bethesda. I'm like, bitch, it's North Rockville is where Giselle lives. You live in fucking probably Silver Spring.
Child.
And then you get Ashley down in Arlington. You get Candace down in Upper Marlboro, down in PG County. I'm like, they're driving an hour and a half to see each other just to have random coffee at the South Moon and Sea clothing store in the Stop shopping mall in Bethesda. I'm like, this is some bullshit.
But literally, as wild as it is, they're not wrong. That actually is a very like DMV relationship. Like, you live in Prince George's County, your friend lives in Montgomery County, your other friend lives in Howard County, one friend lives in Virginia. So as well as it is, it's actually kind of geographically the region.
Because like, I mean, I live in East Baltimore, so it's like, you know, and my sister lives down in Laurel, so it's like I'm back. That is very a real thing about the DMV, but. And they always have continuity issues. Have you noticed that? Though, like the most recent one, the one girl's picking up her man in the scrubs from DCA or Reagan Airport, and then they show him going up the GW Parkway, and then they show him on 95, back to the GW Parkway, then back to actual 95, and I'm like, this is a fucking mess. I'm like, the continuity. Can we get some like editing for this? Like, this is not right.
They're too busy focusing on the witchcraft, which is like, stop trying to make fetch happen. Like, we're not doing this, guys. Yeah, we're really not.
It's not. I do want them to have a witch on Salt Lake City. Like, can you imagine Mary Cosby trying to deal with a witch?
Which I would love. Oh, that would
like
be amazing.
That's amazing.
So, well, you know, we might be on our way, because I distinctly remember last season of Salt Lake. It was the choir episode. In the very beginning, you know how like they'll show like shots of like the street? They flashed over a church, like a church-looking building, but in the like window of the church was a pentagram. I'm like, huh.
Oh.
Interesting.
Oh. We need that. We need that. All right, ad break. I gotta pay for all this damn coffee I'm drinking and tea I'm spilling. It's me, Zenobia, darling. So, as many of you know, I'm more than just a podcaster, stand-up comic, and drag queen. I'm also a very accomplished painter and photographer, and you can check it all out on ZenobiaDarlingCreative.com. I have an art blog on there sponsored by the Harford County Cultural Arts Board, and just all my paintings, photography, you get podcast stuff. I have an art film that premiered in September that you can buy on there too. So make sure you check it out. It supports me, supports the podcast. All right, so let's get back to the podcast.
Back to our girls here. I'm actually really enjoying this season. Only part I don't like is like the clear divide, how it's like, you know, Karen, Dr. Wendy, and Candace, and then the other side is the Green Eye Bandits, Mia, and now Aneka and Roller Derby. Like, the fact that we had to spend like 3 scenes in Ashley's little sea shanty was ridiculous.
God.
That's from season 1. And I'm glad they flashed back to that because I'm like, this feels too familiar. I don't want to be here. I don't want to be there 5 years ago. Like, please.
And then you want to know what I spotted this episode? She was wearing an Ashley Darby necklace, like a Carrie Bradshaw necklace. And I'm like, you're still with that creep, who's using the MGM National Harbor as his personal fuck pad. And all those men use that building as their personal fuck pad. I mean, that is a known thing in the DMV. And it's like, bye, girl, bye. Go get a hot man. Go get your pussy, pounded by some decent dick.
I mean, well, we had it. We had it when it was her and Luke, who I want to say I've done like a bit of a 180 on Luke. I used to really can't stand him, but over time, I found he's shown to be like, the person he says he is, which seems like nice and just chill. And then very recently, I met him out while I was at an event, and he was like the nicest guy. He was so chill. And he is actually
from people in the community before.
Yeah, he's actually very handsome in person. So, like, I get why the ladies are, falling over him. Still don't like his whole thing with Sierra because she was very young at the time and he was like already like way into his 30s. So like, what are you doing like this 21-year-old? But
Now, in person, does he have a big dick? Can you tell?
I couldn't tell. Honestly, I couldn't stop looking away from like his face. He has such like a great smile. Okay. It's spellbinding. But speaking of great smiles, it was recently brought to my attention that Jason, this is not his first foray on, trying to get onto a show. I heard that he was on Siesta Key dating, I think, the girl Alexis. And then
God.
wondered how he tried to get with Lindsay, and now he's with Giselle. So I feel like Giselle and Jason, they've agreed. Like, I feel like they have a contract, like, we're just going to hang out on camera. Will they, won't they? I'll get paid, you'll get paid. Because he wants to be on TV. This is her job. So I feel like it's a situation of convenience. They happen to like get along. They happen to sleep together. But I think they both know it's a business agreement. Obviously, like Robin and Juan. Yeah. Like Robin knows she's like, this man's not going to change. This is who he is. I'll ask him on camera here and there. Hey, what do you think about this? Not even saying that's how she feels or how she doesn't. But like, it's very obvious that 8 years into this game, everyone's got a system and they're trying to work their systems.
Of course they are, because they might have hooked up a few times. And I mean, he's a good-looking dude, but I'm like, This is so produced. This is so opportunistic. Like,
really,
I wish Robin and Giselle would be friends of.
I wish that they would just be together, because then Vin's storyline secured. Imagine,
that's true.
It's a lesbian relationship.
Oh, God, that would be perfect. And I gotta look at. We'll get into that in a little bit. But so let's finish Potomac talking about Robin, because as much as Robin is kind of a mess this season, I have to say she really is a Real Housewife of Baltimore. Like, she reminds me so much of many of my Baltimore friends, because she's like kind of sleepy, chill, laid back. She probably smokes weed like a chimney, like many of us do. But you come for her and she'll cut a bitch real quick. And I'm like, I appreciate that, living in Hanover near the Arundel Mills Mall.
I'll say the last seasons, Robin has definitely gotten more acclimated and activated to her job as a Real Housewife. Funny fact. She said on her podcast she doesn't smoke. She doesn't like it. She doesn't like feeling high. So allegedly she's not smoking.
Oh,
she definitely enjoys a drink here and there. But I would say I've enjoyed Robin in the last 3 seasons than I have the entire time that she's been on the show. Because I think she finally understands, like, okay, like, this is the job. This is what I need to do. Like, I love how, like, she has no time for Karen at all ever. I find that hilarious. Like, just not interested. And speaking of Karen, really quick, the friend handshake, that was hilarious. It reminded me of, like, when, back in the day when she had, like, Giselle on ice, and she's like, oh, no, you can't come to my house. Leave it at the door. Drop the cookies off. Her whole little interaction with Mia, I find that so funny, but also very realistic. Yeah, because sometimes when people, like, when they cut you a little too deep, you gotta, push them back. But what do you think about the conversation Mia and her had in the park? Because it didn't sound like, Karen said you were lying. She's like, just stop telling my business. Like, that's the vibe I got from that conversation.
Oh, yeah, totally. Because I think it's more of like, I think Juan did cheat, but I think they have a pact where it's like, don't embarrass me. Like, that's a very, like, if you go back to like Luann and the Count, like, Luann just said, don't embarrass me. The same thing with Tom
too.
Yeah, with Tom. It was like, don't embarrass me. I feel like that's the thing. So they're saying one thing on camera, but I think they're like, yeah, he did, but like, let's not talk about it.
Yeah, because then that becomes a whole 6-week arc that no one really wants to get into.
Yeah. And I do think it's shitty that Robin waited until after the season was over to come out with it on her freaking podcast. Like, I think that should have been, she should have
That
been.
was so funny. She was
Yeah.
like, I was waiting for you to bring it up.
Like, it's like I feel like that she should have been demoted for that just for this season. Like, kind of like when Portia and Candy fought, or no, Portia and Kenya fought, and Portia sat out a season, like, as punishment. That should have happened to Robin, but Robin's coming back, and I want her to fight somebody. Like, I want her to get, like, remember with the umbrella with Monique and Ashley? I want that Robin back. Like, that Baltimore bitch to come out. Oh, and then Candace. So, Drive Back is some good fuck music.
Hey, my girl. Out. As you know, I've been on the road with her pretty much since she started with the music. You know, the album came out in 2021, and I gotta say, I think I've seen her live like maybe 9 or 10 times now. Like, I've gone to pretty much every live show she's done.
Because she's the best.
She gets better every time. When I saw her this summer in City Winery in New York City, it was back in August. She ate that. Like, it's a full show now. It's choreo, it's lights, it's the dancers, it's like live vocals. Like, the mic is on. Yeah. Like, it's a good time. Funny enough, that night I saw her in August. The first show had gotten sold out, and then she added a second like late night show. So I had gotten tickets to the late night show, and then I met up with my friends Joanne and Jaquita, and they knew someone who had an extra ticket, so I got to go to the first show. So I saw her twice, and so once I knew what the show was after the first time, I'm like, oh my god, the second one, I'm going off. And I'll fucking tell you, I was out of my seat the entire time, screaming, dancing in the corner, just like getting my life. Like, Candace puts on such a great show.
No, she's a performer. I remember when you can probably go back on my old YouTube channel, and I actually review the video for Drive Back. And I even said, like, she has that performer thing where they didn't have the budget to shut down the street. So they're in a street in Southwest DC, and she's like dancing, and it's kind of awkward, like, to think about it, but that's how a professional performer has to be. And she did that. And I was like, she's a performer. Like, there's that level of technicality and that, like, pushing through that awkwardness to deliver that she did. And that's why I'm like, she's going to do good.
She said she's always wanted to do music, and she's like, all right, pray. She's like, God, help me find a way to do this music. Like, help me find my platform. And then, like, in the last few years, you know, like, with saying that prayer, the show fell into her lap. So it's crazy. Like, you know, our friend Kim was not lying. When Kim Zolciak Bierman said, ask, believe, receive, she wasn't lying.
Yeah. I mean, it's better than Melissa Gorga. Ooh.
You know what? That's the one thing I will give Migo credit for. Migo will always get credit for On Display. Everything else...
On Display and Rockstar are two of my favorite Bravo bangers.
Oh my god. And then
and Melvin, my cat, loves On Display. I always sing it to him.
Oh, I love that.
Oh. Okay, let's move on to New York City, because you're in New York. I'm a New York.
Yes.
It's my Spotify Wrapped playlist that I was a New Yorker at heart. I'm like, damn.
Yes.
So
I love.
I kind of want to talk about the reboot just because I hated it. I hate Jenna Lyons. I think she's a boring lesbian. But we'll get into that in a minute. But catching up on Legacy, I miss Dorinda. Yeah.
I recently saw Dorinda at the Pink Taco in Times Square. She was doing a meet and greet with Teresa, and I gotta say, Dorinda looks good.
She does. I love Dorinda.
Yeah, she's a cool girl. First time I met Dorinda was 2017. It was St. Patrick's Day, and I had went to the St. Patrick's Cathedral in New York City because it was also Ash Wednesday. And so I'm getting in line to get my ashes, and the way it was set up that day, they had like 3 doors open, so you could enter the church from like 3 separate doors. So I go in, get in the line, and as we start inching towards the middle, the line splits up. So as you like go to the middle, like you would see the person next to you coming in from the other line. So I get in the middle, I turn around because I'm like, where's the line going? And Dorinda's behind me. So she has a whole conversation with me. I get to tell her how much I love her. And I'm like, Dorinda, I'm like, I know season's about to start. Do you have any quotes, any big lines like I made? This was right before season 9. And she goes, oh, she's like, yeah. She goes, so I have an interaction with someone and they ask me how I'm doing. And then I say, I'll tell you how I'm doing.
Not well, bitch.
Yeah.
Not well, bitch. And she did the little arm thing. I'm I've done that to someone, but I like when I was at Towson, the little like a lot of the actors knew, like there was one girl that pushed me and that started coming out and they were like, oh, Derek's about to pop off like he did. I was like, ooh. I'll tell you how I'm doing. Not well, bitch. God, I love her.
And then she was like, "Oh my God, I just cursed in church." I'm like, "No, it's fine. God will forgive you. You made it nice. It's okay." And so then we took a picture and we got our ashes. It was such a nice meeting.
Yeah.
So Dorinda is
well, coming out for Christmas, I always do like the solo espresso shot episodes. So for the Christmas one, I recapped the Berkshire December County, where she did that iconic meltdown where she's like, "I am ashamed of you guys. You know, I cooked, I cleaned, I made it nice. All go home. All go home."
Also, it wasn't behave, but Dave. If you can't behave, then you'll all go home.
And she's like, she had a big Costco bottle of Belvedere that she's trying to open, and she's like accenting it. And that whole episode, like, I forgot how crazy it was.
Literally, Jules just like, so my dad is crying, and the man's like, "Can you believe what she said to me? Can you believe what Bethany said?"
Can you believe it? Can you believe? I can't believe what she was talking. Meanwhile, her thong's hanging out, and she's smoking a Virginia Slim Ultralight.
He was just like, "I'm not sure he's gonna make it tonight." She's like, "I just can't believe what Bethany said to me." I mean, wait, but can you did you hear her? Did you hear what she said to me?
Like, her dad's dying.
Literally.
And like Bethany was on some type of like, I don't know if it was Adderall or allegedly. If
right, because it was all.
Like,
it was all. It was also mentioned at all.
Like, she got nuts. Like, Bethany was nuts, and Sonia wasn't there to get her because she was
right.
banned. Because that
they told her out. Yeah.
Yeah. Like, that episode will be out on Christmas, but like, I watched it from the episode before to the episode afterwards because you have to see the whole arc because there's such a buildup, and then Dorinda just blows.
Right, because they fucked with her mom's cake, and she's like, "No, you don't mess with Diane's cake."
Mm-hmm. Oh my! She's like, "Knock it off, Luann. Knock it off. My mother bought me this cake."
I miss our girls, but you know what? God is good because where are they? On Peacock, so we can have both.
Can
celebrate.
Getting them back.
We can celebrate the new girls, and we can remember the old girls. And also, the old girls are coming back in like less than a week, December 11th.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Yeah. So, like, it's fine. Everyone's fine. You get your old, you get your new, you get your new old, and then you're gonna get your new.
Yeah.
Like, can we talk about Uber? Uber Hots, Uber Eats. I love it. I have the hot sauce. It's not in my fridge. It's in my work fridge. But like, I love her hot sauce. It's actually really good.
It's actually good because that's one thing. Like, I remember. Because I like things like super spicy. Like, I'm glad that you're getting like spicier, and I'm glad her hot sauce is good.
It's good. It's sold in sets of 3. You can't just buy one sauce, so you have to have all 3. So she has 3. She has like a verde, like a mild sauce. Then she has her like hot salsa sauce, and then the flaming hot. So she says you're like inspired by our country of Somalia. So like the green is like emerald, the red is ruby. The red is ruby, and then the yellow is, I think she called it like morganite or tanzanite. And yeah, like they're good. And what I find interesting is because it says refrigerate after opening. In the fridge, they kind of like solidify, so you have to kind of put it out. But once you like put it on like your plate, it like melts. So I think it's kind of cool how it stores and keeps. I definitely like the green one the most. I put it on veggies and pasta. The red one I like on like, I guess, salmon because I don't eat meat. But like I imagine that would taste good on like a lamb chop or like steak. The red one. And the yellow one is actually too hot for me. I actually don't use the yellow one at all.
See, that's probably the one I would use because I'm like, dousing on everything.
Uber did a really good job.
Yeah. Well, I feel like they need another season. I want Jenna Lyons gone though. I don't like her at all. I just don't. I'm good.
Like our friend, she's a lesbian. Maybe just not on Ozempic. Like, is that what you want? Do you want Jenna Lyons to start Ozempic?
I mean, I just want her. I want her to give something. I'm just over it. Like, and I don't. And this is what pisses me off is
give us so much side boob.
Yeah, she gives us. She's boring, but. She's like withholding. Like, why can't we see her partner? Like, you signed up for a reality show. You need to deliver. That shit pisses me off. That's a lazy housewife. She needs to go. And she's not the first lesbian housewife. The best lesbian housewife, and we're going to side note on Miami right now, is Julia, who's married to Martina. That is a lesbian I want to see. So
fair. No, I'm definitely enjoying Judith. I mean, the house, the clothes, the fashion. And, like, her just being very fish out of water in that whole environment. But you're right, it actually is kind of weird because just like Salt Lake City, Roni is now the second show where, like, you sign up knowing you're going to be a housewife. So, yes. I can see, like, the expectation being where it's at and why it is. And speaking of, so I want to say I had the hardest time, as did many of us, getting to know Sai. We couldn't really get a read on her, but I decided to, because I want to be fair too. I decided to spend some time. So over the last couple of weeks, like late October into November, I found Sai's podcast. It's very short. She has like 30-minute episodes. There's only like 15 of them. So I listened to all of her episodes, and I'll say she's exactly the same on the podcast as she is on the show. So I guess she just is this person, like whatever this is, it's actually who she is.
She was one of the ones I like. Sai, and I like I still don't know their names a lot. The one girl who works with Eric, the real estate dude, is like, I like her. The one, Aaron, and who's the oh god, I don't even know.
So it's Sai, Aaron, Jessel, Bryn, Uba, and Jenna.
Bryn, I love Bryn because she gives me like updated Sonia Morgan vibes, which I like.
A little bit, yeah.
Jenna can go. The girl who's from London, she can be a friend of
Jessel.
Yeah. And I just wish they would fold in some of Legacy Roni as like friends of, or like invite them to parties and stuff.
You know what? So I actually have a dream reboot cast. I think it should have been Azalea Banks, Kat Marnell.
Oh my god.
Gigi Gorgeous, Lindsay Hubbard, and Amanda Batula, with friends of being Paige, Leah, because she knows Leah.
And Tinsley. We got to have Tinsley back. I miss Tinsley.
Okay, Tinsley. All right, and Tinsley. So, 7 apples. So, Lindsay Hubbard, Amanda Batula, Tinsley, Gigi Gorgeous, Kat Marnell, and Azalea Banks.
Oh, my God. Azalea Banks. I mean, that bitch is nuts. I love her. I love it. No, that is... Oh, and can we have Kristen Doute? Can she do a transplant? Because Kristen Doute, to me, needs to be in New York.
Sure. Yeah, she's friends with Lizzie, so that works.
That'll be,
I want, but no, I definitely had fun with the season because I give everyone grace, like we said. So I'm sure now that they've had the experience, they'll be able to come back with it. But really quick, so Uba is dating. We have uncovered us internet Bravo sleuths because if we're nothing else, we are the FBI. We are private investigators. But she's dating Oliver Dashel. When I heard that, I'm like, wow, I've not heard that man's name in like 85 years.
Wait a minute, where do I know that name from?
I forget why we know him, but we know him.
Wow, and he's worth some money too. Good for her.
Yeah.
I want her to date like Nigerian prince. Like I want her to get some like rich African money, like African royalty, big dick energy, like get pounded by that. Like that's what I want for her.
All she has to do is call Sonia, because remember, Sonia owns the Nigerian football team. So
yes, I love it. Oh, so let's get into Miami a little bit because I already mentioned it. So are you watching Miami? Miami's like the best.
Yes, my Green Eye Bandits of Miami, Alexia and Marisol.
Well, Marisol needs to get her damn moles checked. She looks like she's been out with a tannin oil on the pool too much, and her little cockies. Like, girl, bye. Go to the dermatologist. You got melanoma.
Oh, not melanoma. But you know what? At least Marisol got rid of the Blink Cup.
That's very true.
We have that. Let's celebrate that.
I can't knock her for being the branding queen. And Larsa is the fucking worst. I will say I love to hate her. She's awful. She's a villain, but I love her on TV.
When she sat down at that lunch with Gertie, and Gertie goes, "So I have cancer." She goes, "What? What do you mean? How do you know? Who told you?" I fucking screamed.
I was dying. Well, I mean, I think that was a real. She's like, "Wait a minute, what?" And then I love how production was like 6 hours later. Literally 6 hours later.
Please don't tell anyone. And 6 hours later, she's telling everyone she could find. She probably told the mailman when he dropped the mail. She probably told the fucking Domino's delivery man. She probably
tried to tell Kim Kardashian, but that bitch got her blocked. I got my mom watching Potomac, and I got my mom watching Miami. And my mom's like, does Larsa Pippen want like the asses of like the Potomac ladies, but like it's not right? Like she clearly got a BBL, whereas they have like a natural nice ass. And I'm like, oh my God, Mom. I was like, nice way to shade Larsa and her BBL.
You know what? So Larsa, Kim Kardashian, literally everyone that you can think of in that little group. You know who they all actually want to look like? Larsa, Kim Kardashian, Khloe. They all want to look like Maria Menounos. That's what they want to look like.
Oh, 100%. 100%. And like Larsa clearly went to the same plastic surgeon as all of them.
They all said, see that girl who's doing Nuvi? I want that.
Yeah. And the thing is, though, is since she was on the first season of Housewife 10 years ago, Like every time they say, "Oh no, I haven't had work done. I just work out and I'm athletic." They always kept back, and I'm like, "Bitch, you had a body transplant. You had a body and a head transplant. You look different."
She's like, "No, I work out and I gained some weight." Are you serious to me?
Like, I'm like, bitch, you are so. Oh my gosh, I love it. I love it. Miami just like. It's the best. I will say I'm waiting for Nicole's House of Cards to fall. I don't think her House of Cards is going to fall. Her husband, he's into some shadiness. Like there's some fishiness going on there, and I'm like tick tick tick. It's coming. It's coming. That House of Cards or what did that Melbourne housewife say? The drag queen one. That deck of cards is coming down or something.
Oh yeah, she did. So yeah, I was not always the biggest Dr. Nicole fan because she came from my girl Alexia, and I'm such an OG head. Like I don't want anyone coming from my OGs. Like if you do it, I automatically won't like you, especially if you're new, because it says like, oh, okay, you're coming for the star, trying to be thirsty. But I will say that so far this season, I'm definitely more open to Dr. Nicole. But what I'm not open to is Lisa bringing that man around her kids. Like
yes.
And then letting them call him uncle.
Yes. I'm like, what is happening? Like, poor Lisa. Lenny is an asshole. He's a fucking piece of shit. I hate him. But at the same time, I'm like, Lisa, come on. Like,
she's wild. She's fucking wild.
You know who she looks like? She looks like Amanda Lepore.
Oh, see, I thought you were going to say Roger the Alien in a wig, because I can see that too.
Oh, no, I can see that
but
too.
At the end of the day, Lisa's winning because there was an article that came out saying that Jody is helping Lisa pay half of her rent and like the place they're on together, and then Lenny's doing child support. So if you think about it, Lisa has two men paying her rent.
Good for her.
And we can't even get a text back.
I know. And she comes from Vegas. Like she was a Vegas cocktail waitress. Which I'm like, where have we heard that storyline before? But at the same time, I appreciate it. Like Lisa, and I love it because you can taste the cigarette on her mouth when she's like, "Hi, I'm Lisa." I'm like, God. I'm like, can we see her smoking on camera? I love housewives smoking, and it's like, I know that bitch chain smokes.
I mean, I feel like, have we seen Meredith smoke a cigarette? I feel like we've seen Meredith smoke a cigarette.
I think she does. She clearly does.
Yeah. But I wonder, can we see that? Will we see that?
I mean, I'm surprised it hasn't happened yet, especially last season. When she's like, Lenny, yeah. Oh my God. All right.
I'm having fun. I'm having fun with my aunt. Oh, what do you think about Alexia buying Larsa and Marcus a couple's toilet where they can poop together?
I'm the type of, like, I'm dating a guy, or not dating, we're kind of talking, and we just went away together, and, like, one thing I said to him afterwards, I was like, I appreciate that I didn't know when you shit and you didn't fart in front of me. Like, I hate that. So, like, I don't understand that.
Alexia's like, what? She's like, I don't mind. She's like, I like it. I'm like, please don't say that, man. Please don't say that.
No. Like, bathroom time is private time. Like,
yeah.
Door shut. I like a sound barrier. Like, we're good.
Literally.
Like, I don't want to know about you shitting. You're not going to know about me shitting. Like, that annoyed me because I'm like, and Adriana does the same thing too.
Oh my God. She's like, guys, I'm a little bit flatulent. I'd be mad too. Yeah, like, we're like, girl, like,
we're in a fucking bus.
There's no windows. There's nowhere to go.
Like, take some Gas X or Beano, whatever the fuck it is. Like, I would be pissed too. I would be pissed. And she's so fucking thirsty. Like, and they're never going to make her full-time housewife. And she's going to keep trying every fucking season.
You know what? I feel like if she can maybe somehow, get Camila Cabello to pop up, maybe they'll consider. Because, now, Adriana is the queen of Miami music. So.
Oh, of course she is. Ooh. Okay, so let's get into the Super Bowl of Bravo. Not my favorite franchise, but it's the most. We're Housewives of Beverly Hills. We got some stuff to talk about.
We do.
How are you feeling about this season so far?
I am enjoying it. Specifically, all of Sutton's scenes with Jennifer Tilly. Like, that's her friend. That's really cool.
Yeah, they're legitimately friends. I will say Sutton's growing on me.
Yeah, like a pimple. And
or fungus.
Dorit's getting on my last and final nerve.
I don't like her brunette. I want her blonde.
Actually, I do like brunette Dorit. It's just her attitude right now, but it's getting on my last nerve.
No, that too.
I'm definitely enjoying this new side of Erica. Even though I'm not sure if it's new. I don't know if it's just like the next phase of her act. And then of course, like I said at the start of this podcast, I love an unhinged Kyle Richards.
I
An
do
unhinged
too.
Kyle makes for a happy Semajh. So
Yes, same. Well, I will say I miss Renna just because Renna is like one of my number one housewives. I mean, she's my drag mom. You remember
right.
that Twitter thing where I was like, "Can you be my drag mom?" And she's like, "Yes." And then she did a bunch of claps on it. I was like, "Oh my god, I love." And like Renna is bigger than the show, which I appreciate. I like these housewives that are bigger and like they can leave and they're still fucking Lisa Renna. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean now she's on American Horror Stories.
I love. I love. I want
So
her to.
do you like American Horror Stories better than American Horror Story, or do you like Story better than Stories?
I
Because
like
she's
the
on Story.
stories because this. I stopped watching American Horror Story after like the 5th season with Gaga because it just the storylines fall apart halfway
They
through,
lost they lost the plot for sure.
and I'm like, ugh. And I miss Kim Richards too.
That's oh my god. Okay, so recently they were all at Kathy's house. Kathy, Kim, Kyle, and Morgan Wade. They
Oh
were all
God,
and Kathy said Morgan Wade gave her a tattoo.
of course, yeah, that was on Watch What Happens Live. It would not
Right, okay.
surprise me. It would not fucking surprise me. I'm like, and Kim's probably like, oh no, I can't. I miss Kim Richards' like chaotic, dark, alcoholic meth energy. Like Beverly Hills needs it because it makes Kyle get very real. And it also
Yes.
has a nice juxtaposition because Beverly Hills, it's beautiful, sunny LA. Boom, darkest storylines ever. You're getting suicide, abuse, drug addiction, mob deaths, like shit like that. I'm like, that's what I want in Beverly Hills.
And they definitely had a great start to the season. Bird Woman, like that was amazing.
Ooh.
I loved watching them hash it out in front of Bird Woman.
No, that was the
It was
best.
a really good time.
I will say Erica Jane, I've never been an Erica person. I hate Erica Jane.
Really,
I think
Start-
she is a thirsty bitch. I think she's a nasty person. I think she's culturally appropriating drag culture, which really pisses most. Like the thing about the Real Housewives with drag culture is, yes, they are
Yeah.
drag queens, but there's a fine line to being like kind of campy in a drag way and just straight up copying drag queens. And Erica straight up copies drag queens.
we can't blame her. We have to blame Mikey Minden.
That's well, you want to hear some backstory about? I heard some drag tea about Erica. The drag
You tell.
community has completely turned on Erica, and they hate her. Like Willem Belli in Alaska Thunderfucks podcast, Willem came out
Yeah.
and was like, Erica is not a nice person. She gets rude
Oh.
to shampoo people. She's rude to people. She's nasty. Oh yeah, she's a cunt. Like they hate her, and I'm like, that's how I've always felt.
Wow. I mean, well, shout out to you for being vindicated and validated.
Yes.
I want to see where we go as the season progresses. Like, I'm loving all the airtime we get with Crystal. Crystal's funny. I feel like people don't realize how funny Crystal is. Like that scene at her home at Rob, the way she was looking at that man when he was telling her, "I think you're jealous of like literally any woman in your brother's life." He's like, "You want to be his number one." Like the way she was looking at him, she goes, "Shut up." Like Crystal, yes, please. Like tell this man to leave you alone.
And also, Erica this season with the trying to have basic human empathy storyline. I'm like, bitch, you're a fucking sociopath. Like, let's call it what it is. You're a sociopath. You are a nasty bitch. You don't care about anyone but yourself. And like, you were married. Like, my grandfather always said water seeks its own level. And what did Erica marry for 30 years? Tom Girardi, which we all know that whole thing, which,
Yeah. That's true. You know what's funny? So like a couple years ago, and it's part of the reason why I stopped watching Beverly Hills until now. One, the show was getting increasingly dark, but specifically on Erica, one night I had a nightmare where like it was, I want to say like maybe like 20 years into the future, give or take, and I was in a zoo turned like mental asylum, or maybe it was like both, like maybe like the mental asylum became a zoo. But anyways,
I love this.
I left the room with like I was like escorted into a room with an orderly, and like oh, there she is, and like Eric Harvest, somewhere here to see you, and like she was watching a TV, and they were like like it was like a terrarium. There were like trees around, like like jungle style, zoo style trees, and she was watching TV on like an old TV, like antenna, and I couldn't remember like what was on the TV, but then like we kept like calling her like Erica, and then like she turned around and she had like a weird look on her face, kind of like a sad, kind of like it was like frozen on her face, and then like she just stared at us until we left, and it was obvious like okay, like something happened to her. So like I don't know I don't know what all that means, but I'm like, this is all very dark. I don't want to watch this anymore.
No,
So I didn't watch.
That
I
sounds
didn't
about
watch.
right. That sounds about right with her.
I didn't watch 11 or 12. I'm like, this is dark. This is too dark.
Yeah, Erica just like, I mean, and like Aaron Brockovich, like I have an episode coming out in a little bit where I had my friend watch Aaron Brockovich, and I like go into Erica's and Tom's connection to Aaron Brockovich, but it's like the whole level of just political corruption that whole scandal uncovered, I feel like people are glossing over, and just like Erica is not a good person.
Cover-ups with the law, judges, like that was a network of lies.
Yes, and then you got Gavin Newsom on Watch What Happens Live saying, "Oh yeah, they're my biggest donors," and I'm like, there we go. Like, why is no one else talking about this craziness? Like,
honestly, that's the public for you. We always go for the wrong thing. Oh, yes. We always pick the wrong girl, the wrong side. It'll be our downfall.
Of course it will.
I'm being Garcelle's conversations with her sons. And on that, like, I do enjoy, but like the one son does feel encouraged to speak up because, yeah, like, you know, I'm sure you can relate. Our parents never knew like what we were going through or how we actually felt because we never felt comfortable to say it. So I like seeing that evolution of the parent-child relationship. But then I'm like, why are you talking to your mom like this?
Exactly. That's why I am too. I'm like, if I said that to my mom, I'm like, she would hit me. Like, I'm like, you. But at the same time, I do appreciate that, and I like Garcelle, and I think she's a good housewife, and I like this kind of like storyline where like you are parenting people in the public eye, and it's like, you know, and you have some messiness in your past, and you're navigating it, and I definitely think her sons are better than like Rena's daughters or like Yolanda Foster's daughters.
Gigi, my love.
Oh yeah, Gigi, my love with the lemons. God, I do miss Yolanda on The Housewives.
Me too. I really do. But no, like I'm happy to see that. Only thing I didn't like about Garcelle in the last episode was that she had Larsa at her movie party.
Oh,
what the hell was that?
I was like, why is this bitch coming on this show now? Like,
bro.
And you know what else I'm fucking tired of? Teddy Mellencamp just being on TV. She showed up on OC last season, and then she was at BravoCon. I'm like, get the fuck off the screen. I don't want to see that boring bitch that promotes eating disorders. I don't want to see it.
We can't get rid of her. Like, she just won't go away.
She literally is a fungus.
It's a plague. She's a plague.
And I have a serious journalistic question. You know, I'm an arts journalist, an arts writer. I have a serious arts question for you.
Name them.
Is Morgan eating Kyle's pussy? That's what everyone wants to know. What are you? We need to talk facts.
I'm gonna say not yet. I feel like Kyle's definitely smitten with Morgan for whatever reason, for whatever that's worth. But one thing about Kyle, I don't see her actually going all the way through with it. Like, it'll be playful, like, you know, in name only. Like, I don't see her actually getting down to business.
Yeah, I don't.
And doing.
I think she's a lipstick lesbian. I don't think she's actually going to eat pussy. I think if anything, I think Morgan will eat Kyle's pussy, but I don't think Kyle will reciprocate.
Yeah, no, it's fun. It's funny. It's a brush on the shoulder. It's, you know, a little kiss on the cheek. It's, you know, a brush behind the ear. But I don't think Kyle's ever going to, like, you know, like, go for it.
And I think she has, like, a rush about it. Like, I feel like she, like, you can tell it's making her, like, kind of get the Zaza Zoo, as Carrie Bradshaw would say.
Right. You know, Maurice is too busy doing, I don't know, literally anyone or anything else. So
well, I mean, how many times have we heard rumors that Mo has been cheating? I mean, if he wants to call me up, I mean, I'm down. You want to have Zenobia? I'm down. Can I have your Amex, though? But, you know.
I mean, he's got to, you know, take the next flight out to space.
Exactly. I can come pick him up, and we can start an agency on Saturn where I live.
The light is giving me a spaghetti strap. That's crazy. Do you see that? The light is flashing on my neck.
That is pretty funny. Oh.
I'm a little distracted by that, but no. It's been very fun to watch them interact with each other. The tattoo, she's like, love being. That's too many tattoos. She's like, I'm gonna get what I want.
He's like, that's too. You know, she's just trying to do it to rub it in his face.
Yeah.
And like, you know who I really want to see on Beverly Hills, and we share this, Jackie Christie.
Yes. Oh my
Yes,
god.
I love that bitch. I've been watching Basketball Wives this new season, and Jackie's medicated. She's not delivering old school Jackie. You can definitely tell. I think she's might have been to therapy. She's on some good meds.
Mm.
But I'm
I'm so Evelyn's back. This new girl is out of her fucking mind.
oh, I know, and I'm like ugh. And I just want Jackie. I want Jackie on Beverly Hills. Like I want to see more black excellence on Beverly Hills. I want to see Jackie on there because I feel like Jackie also has evolved past Basketball Wives, if that makes sense.
Oh no, she's definitely evolved past it. But I only want Jackie Christie on if they're gonna bring back Lisa Renna because I need to battle the husbands because we can't talk about Doug and we know we can't talk about Harry. So could you imagine them like, oh, let's talk about the husbands. Oh, don't talk about my husband. What about your husband? Like I would just love to have a battle of the husbands. Jackie Christie and Lisa Renna in the battle of the husbands.
That is or like can we have Jackie Christie on like I really want to do an ultimate girls trip of just villains and I want Jackie Christie on that. Like, so who would be on that? Larsa for sure.
Yeah.
I would say Ramona, but I'm kind of over seeing Ramona. Like,
it can be New York because we just had House of Villains, so we're getting closer.
Yep, New York would be, New York. Because New York is one of the few VH1's reality stars that have eclipsed VH1.
100%. We can have the Green Eyed Bandits because they're pretty villainous at this point. We can have
Kenya.
We can have Kenya Moore. We can have.
We have Jen Shaw. Can she get on a prison release specifically for it?
If she's around, sure. We can have Luann because Luann can be a villain very easily.
Oh yes.
We can have Erin, the new girl. She was pretty much a villain this year.
No, that's true. Can we have Gina from Melbourne?
Yes,
I want to see. I want there to be like the international housewives. Like into the fold, like because I love all the South African versions and all the pretty much African versions of Housewives. They all are top notch.
I want Tamra there.
Oh yes.
I want Adriana there.
Lynn Curtin.
Cuff it.
With her fucked up daughters doing porn.
Yeah, and then we can close out that circle with Brandy Redmond.
Oh my God, yes. Brandy, I miss Dallas. I miss Leanne.
Samboon,
I love you, Samboon. As someone who was broken and abused in the carnival, I just want to give you a hug. I love that bitch.
She's wild. She's wild. She's wild lady. Really quick on Lindsay and Carl.
They bored me. I'm ready for them to go. Like, that whole thing was fake. Like, I'm like, were they in love? I don't know. They always seem to be shady.
I think the problem is now, ever since last 5 years, so the Erica and Tom, Scandival, this breakup now, Jen Shah going to jail. I feel like now, especially with the Bravo audience, if there's no big scandal or crime, people are calling it boring. Like people are saying Potomac's boring, some people are saying Miami's boring. Mm-hmm. Like not every season needs a big scandal or crime. I mean, also weren't we asking for less crime and less scandal? Now we have it. It's like, it's boring. Like Bravo has to really take some time and look out what they're going to do next. Because we can't.
The level, it's heightened.
It's annoying, yeah, and and now I feel like it's putting too much of a question in our minds as viewers. Like, is this real or is this you trying to get your big one? Are you trying to have your scandal now? Mauricio and Kyle. It's too many questions going on now, and I think we could really benefit from a pause to regroup, look at our shows, maybe have the executives go back and watch old seasons and really make cohesive storylines for the next set of shows.
Yes, because I definitely think that Bravo execs are kind of. I feel like they're going back to American Horror Story. I feel like they're kind of losing the plot. That's what I love Miami so much is because they're still playing by the old school housewife playbook. And that's why I'm I miss this. Whereas I feel like Jen Shaw and Beverly Hills and then it started getting too dark and the stakes were too high. And I'm like, can we just be fighting about sprinkle cookies? Can we just be fighting about you didn't go to my christening or you didn't do that's the shit I want.
I went to 2:00. Why weren't you there on a Tuesday? Yeah, the simple.
I don't want to have no orphans and widows shit. I don't want to have no stealing from people like that. I'm
the elderly.
Yes, and on Vanderpump Rules though, that whole Scandival, that was a real thing that happened. And it's if you watch Vanderpump Rules, Tom Sandoval is this
is who he is.
Yes, if you go back and watch it, it's That is who he is. He's done this so many times. And I remember in season 7 and 8, there was always those rumors that Tom was cheating on Ariana, and they kept it off the show. And it was boring. And I'm like, that time bomb is going to explode. And it did. And I love every minute of it.
No, for sure. And actually, really quickly on Scandal, honestly, the real criminal was Schwartz. He knew. He knew the second started. So for him to sit there and lie to you, me, America, Kate, Ariana, and Andy Cohen, wild. And he's getting away with it because everyone's loving him again on Winter House. I'm like, he is the villain.
He's always been the villain. He's always been physically and mentally abusive to Katie. He's like, go back and watch that. He's pouring beer on her head, being a fucking nightmare to him. And he plays with that like baby doll. Like, I hate both Toms. I hate them both.
No, honestly, I dislike Schwartz more than Sandoval. Like literally, like and like he tried to play us this season. He's like, oh, I thought, he's like, we come to the bar, you'd call me a dirty little slut, have a drink and laugh about it. Like, are you kidding me?
Yeah, I'm like, I'm good. I don't want to see Schwartz ever again. Like, and, I'm happy. Like, I hate Katie. Trust me, that bitch.
I love Katie.
Katie, like, I mean, she cannot dress for shit. She just, I cannot stand Katie. But I'm like, at the same time, I'm like, Katie, go out and fuck a bunch of dudes. Like, go get some good dick. Because God knows Schwartz doesn't have good dick.
Let's talk about how your dick doesn't work.
Exactly. My dick works. Exactly. And I miss, like, Vanderpump, like, I just been rewatching it, just the old episodes, and I'm like, there's nothing like Vanderpump Rules. There's nothing like that first 6 seasons.
I agree. And really quickly, before we move on to other things, so back in October, I came back to our little neck of the woods, because at the, I think I want to say, like, the Montgomery Mall, there was a meet and greet, like a fall festival. It was Gabby Prescott from Summer House, Lindsay Hubbard from Summer House, and Ashley Darby, and they were having like a fall fashions panel. But at some point, I think it was Ashley or maybe like the host. They were like, "So Lindsay and Ashley, you both been on TV for 8 years." And when I heard that, I'm like, "Wow! Like, can you believe in both Summer House and Potomac started in the same year?"
Oh my god!
2006.
Holy shit!
Summer House and Potomac. That's crazy.
That is crazy.
Shout out to Lindsay. She's been on TV for 8 years, and the girls are mad about it.
I wish Lindsay would become a Real Housewife of New York. And you know who else I want to be a Real Housewife of New York? Wendy Williams.
I want Wendy to do her podcast first.
I want Wendy back.
Yeah, I know, our girl. Aw.
Like I just had one of my good comic friends, Stoney Williams, on, and we went into Wendy Williams, and I miss her. Like, there's no one like Wendy.
No one like her.
There's no one like Wendy. No one can sit in that chair for 20 minutes like Sherry Shepherd. Who? That show's boring as fuck.
Clap for everybody if you ever want to kill somebody.
Yeah. Do I have a clap? But oh no, that's a rim shot. Ugh.
We'll add it in there. But yeah,
I have What is this? There we go. I live for the applause.
There we go.
Yeah. Did you hear that?
Yeah, I did.
Okay. I knew I have a soundboard. Like, I forgot about. Oof. Okay. So real quickly before we get into who, we're gonna end it with that. Let's get into Salt Lake, because I think Monica is probably the greatest addition they've made, the greatest casting choice they've made for a housewife since. I don't even know. Since Dorit.
Monica's crushing it, for sure. She's getting into the mix. She's asking questions. She's calling the girls out. She's giving it right back to them. I'm definitely enjoying Monica. I have questions myself about, who she is and what she's about.
I don't think she knows who she is.
It could be bad, too. She might still be figuring herself out. Like, the fact that we have not even touched on the fact that she cheated on her husband with her husband's brother's brother or whatever. Like, the fact that, like, we've glossed over that and it's like we haven't gotten there yet. Like, there's so much to this lady that we just don't know yet, and I'm excited to take that journey and see about her.
And, like, what is with this whole, like, Heather and her suing each other with Beauty Lab? Do you think that's going to come out in the Bermuda trip? Is that because that's what I read that, like, the streets are talking about?
So I heard, from Whitney Wild Rose that was definitely talked about at the reunion, and it looks like whatever comes out, whatever this is, it's so bad that no one's talking to Monica right now.
Oh my God. See, that's why I'm like, Monica is a dark, chaotic person that I love. And there's a shift always with Housewife that I like when I watch it, when it engages my, like, theater mind. Like, when she had that sit down with her mom at that Mexican restaurant, And like the mom's like, where the hell's an aspirin? I'm like, wait a minute. I'm like, this is engaging it. And I'm like, that's when I love Bravo. Like when a Housewives franchise runs on all cylinders, it does that. And that fucking did it. And I was like, oh my God, this is the best.
No, Monica shines in the group scenes. Like when she said, when Heather's like, where are we going? She's like, home to hell, back where we belong. I'm like, oh my God.
Fucking, I love it. I love it. God. And like, I love Lisa Barlow. I love Heather.
Favorite girl, my favorite, Lisa Barlow.
I wish we could get Meredith smoking on camera, like I said before. I wish we could have more Mary. Mary just to me is just like, oh.
That dinner with Whitney, she walked in, sat down. Whitney's like, can we have a talk? She's like, I don't want to. She's like, but Mary, you just talk. She's like, I'm not doing this with you. As she's ordering her food, telling her to take it to go.
Yep.
Mary, if she's nothing, if she's nothing, she's efficient. She got in, sat down, decided she's not doing it, ordered her food, got to go, and left. Probably all within 15 minutes.
Oh yeah, I mean that's the thing about Mary is like I would watch her like read the phone book. She's so compelling. She's so just I don't know. I love her. And Meredith to me, not Meredith. Whitney Rose is just she's a little too. I can't stand the way she talks. She has that weird like that weird.
Her
Hillin.
Her feelings.
I'm like Jesus Christ.
It's real.
Okay, so before we get into the Pioneer Woman, I want to touch on because I really like have talked to you about like the international version of Housewives. Have you watched any of them? Did you watch Johannesburg? Did you watch who else? I just have a Cape Town. The Real Housewives of Lagos, Nigeria is fucking bonkers.
They're on Peacock Lagos, I think, or is Durban?
I think Durban, which is in South Africa, Johannesburg is, Melbourne, and then Cheshire.
I've been watching Sydney on, I think, Tubi or Pluto. Sydney is out of control. Like those pull no bars, pull no punches. I'm enjoying Sydney for sure.
I gotta watch it because that Melbourne, like Gina Liano, I think her name is. She is batshit crazy. I love her. Then you get Janet Roach. You get the crazy one, like
Gamble. Yeah.
Oh my God, Gamble. Oh my God, you get the psychic. Like I love that shit.
Oh, I also watched. What's the one that starts with an A? Was it Auckland?
Yeah, Auckland. That's New Zealand.
Okay, no. So then, Cheshire. I watched. Bagori. Like that cast was really fun.
I watched the first 2 seasons of Cheshire, but it kind of like I don't know. It's just like I was like, these are boring white people.
It was boring, but it gets better as that show goes on. Yeah, I mean, I wish Bravo would recognize some of the international franchises. I know back in the day they used to play them on Saturdays, like they used to play all the internationals on Saturday, but I think it's like a licensing issue and why they can't really get into that, which is weird because like they're all taking from you, so just tell them like you want your cut. So we can watch it.
I mean, because Johannesburg, I remember when I was in South Africa, like studying abroad for that year, and like I lived in Melville, which is like where one of the Real Housewives of Johannesburg lived. And I remember seeing them filming, and I was like, wait a minute. I was like, what is that? And I remember the girl I was with who lived there, who was like my host, she was like, yeah, they're filming like Real Housewives. And I was like, wait a minute, what? And I watched the first season because you get that Crystal girl who is like fucking nuts. Yeah, you think that Ramona is problematic and racist. This girl takes it to a whole nother level, and she represents like the old school apartheid government, like that type of shit. You have a mother and daughter who are Real Housewives who are like, and the girl, like it's fucking nuts.
Yeah, so guys, like, please, like, I want to say that all that he said is on Pluto.
The Real Housewives of Johannesburg is on, I believe, Discovery Plus.
Oh, it is. Okay, yes.
Yeah, watch it because it is.
Discovery Plus. Yep.
Yeah. And then they've really been expanding in Africa because now they got Durban is fucking amazing. Like it's a different flavor of Real Housewives, but I always say like it's the best. And then like the Nigerian Housewives, like Lagos, is fucking amazing.
Yeah, no, we're definitely having fun. And really quick, before we go on down south, are you excited for the upcoming season of New Jersey?
Yes. Oh my! I've been hearing shit like because that one girl, her Staten Island roots are coming back. Oh, I forget Danielle. I'm waiting for the Staten Island to come out of her.
Yeah, good times. I actually just finished reading Jackie's book, and that was a hard read. It took me like 2 months to finish that book, and not because like the words are hard to understand. Like Jackie's like walking you step by step through like her days living with her eating disorder. Like
Oh, that might
she
be
really,
triggering for me. Ooh.
I would recommend you don't read it. Like if you into the audience, if you're like still in recovery. Or like if you don't know where you're at with that, don't read it. It's a very hard. It's a hard book. It's not like your regular Housewives book where it's flowery and
It's
fluffy.
not a pamphlet, a ghost written pamphlet.
Like Jackie's really, really taking with it. But all that to say, I'm so proud of her. I kind of almost want to go back and watch so I can see like the things she's referencing, but then maybe not because now I have this new lens. Like Jackie was sick for a long time, but she's coming out on the other side. She's like, I still got work to do, but I'm so proud of the work she's already done.
Yeah, because there was a lot of times, like even last season, where she would come up there, and like I know this in recovery, like because I like you have something called refeeding syndrome when you're like and so your body's adjusting, so you're like
Yes.
ballooning and losing weight constantly, and it's just you feel awkward and it makes you feel like shit. And there were several times on there where I looked and I'm like, she's just started recovery, and I'm like, she's feeling really bad about herself, and I feel like she knows what she looks like, and I'm like, and that was very like hard for me to watch, and but I appreciate her showing it.
And that was one thing she said. She's like, she said it without saying it. She's like, she feels like another part of the reason why she didn't get asked back full time is because TV shows, they kind of want you to have things kind of fleshed out rather quickly. So like she's like, they probably wanted me to like say I have this problem, get treatment and be fixed. And she's like, I kept telling her, she's like, no, like this recovery is a process. It's gonna be slow. You're not gonna see me healed episode 1 and having a great life episode 10. She's like, I want to take my time with this.
Yeah.
And so she believes like her wanting to have it really fleshed out is a big part of why she didn't get asked back. Because one thing we know about Jersey, they're not going to waste time. They're going to keep it moving. It's like 16 episodes. It's always the shortest seasons. But I just want to say, even though I don't like her as a housewife, I'm very proud of the work she's done on herself.
Yeah, no, because that is something that like I like when people actually are very real, because people joke about eating disorders, they kind of glamorize. Like I feel like Beverly Hills, like especially Ted and Mellencamp and Kyle and Renna, they've all kind of glamorized it, and it's like it's as someone that has lived through it. It is like recovery from it is so freaking hard, and I appreciate that she's doing that.
People can process of recovery, like yeah,
and it's like it's not like anything else. Like because when you're an alcoholic or you're a drug addict, you can lock that monster away and never use again. When you have an eating disorder, you have all those same thought processes, but like you have to take that tiger out of the cage and walk with it 3 times a day, and not be mauled by it. And it's so much. It's such and it just your body goes through so many changes. It's an upward wonky spiral. I say you're going up and down, but you're always going up in a weird way. Yeah, but I appreciate that.
Yeah, so shout out to Jackie. You did your big one with this one. I hear this season we're gonna see the demise of Margaret and Dolores. I read somewhere about like at the finale party, Dolores tells Margaret that she's lying to see you next Tuesday. I'm like, oh, how do we get there?
Oh. I can't. I fucking love Dolores. Dolores is my she reminds me of like one of my aunts. I call her Aunt Dolores because she's that amazing. I cannot wait. Because with Dolores, she's probably like she's so nice. She's chill. She'll do anything for you. You come for her. You fuck with her. You know it.
You're done. It's over. And then I hear Teresa kept to her gun. She's like, I'm not filming with Melissa. I heard they only like meet up allegedly at the finale, and it gets real spicy with them.
Good. I just like I will say I'm ready for them to either pick Melissa or Teresa. I don't think they need to be on the show anymore together. Like they can, one of them can be a friend of, but like I'm ready for that chapter to turn.
I feel like they should give it to Melissa so everyone can prove my girl Teresa right, and showing that Melissa cannot carry a show.
Oh no, she can't. Totally, she can't. Because it's Joey that carries the show for her.
100%. But yeah, I'm definitely excited for the upcoming season, and I've been listening to Teresa's podcast. She found a co-host named Melissa, which is odd, but
of course,
definitely on the right side of things. So it's been fun, and I really enjoyed it. Like we're just hearing about Teresa's like day-to-day life on this podcast, and all she's doing is like running around with the kids, hanging out with Louis, doing events, working as she calls it.
Can we talk about Louis? Because that deck of cards is going to be coming down soon too.
Well, recently, one of his court cases with these women that were making claims against him got dropped. So maybe the tides are turning in his favor. Again, I wasn't there. I don't know. I believe women and all those great things, but I also, as a tree hugger, have to accept that this is her man, this is who she married, and I have to hope for the best.
Yes, no, I hope for the best, but at the same time, I'm not far from New Jersey, and like I live in a very Italian place, like in East Baltimore where I live. I know these women and I know men like Louis, and I'm like, it's gonna come.
Yeah, I mean, like the streets are saying that Paulie is just as bad too.
Oh, wouldn't surprise me. Would not surprise me.
Yes.
Okay, so enough housewives. Let's end this with some nice little lighting. Let's lighten the mood with freaking Ree Drummond, the Pioneer Woman. You fucking love her. I fucking can't stand that bitch.
My girl, Ree Drummond, my girl, the Pioneer Woman. Ugh. She is such a star. I love her so much. So much personality, like the subtle shade.
Really? She's personality? Really?
So much. Actually, Zenobia, while we're out here in space, I'm going to bring us back down to Earth. I did some research and I have some facts I would like to share with you about the Pioneer Women. Do you mind if
Let's dive? I always say I'm intellectually comedic, so dig. I will say though, let me just preface all of this. It is my podcast, so let me give you some of my intellectual looking into this. She comes from LA. She is very much a Vanderpump Rules type person, and she knows what she's doing, and she comes from that world. So, spill.
She knows exactly what she's doing.
Yes.
So, I have about 10 facts here for you about Miss Drummond, the Pioneer Woman. Ugh. She met her husband, Ladd, on a blind date.
Ugh. He is hot, though. I will say. He is very hot, and he's very rich, and he comes from money, and I think she saw that, and she pounced. She knows what she was doing.
My girl. She started her first blog in 2006, the Pioneer Woman blog in 2006.
Well, I have a blog too, #RockstarLife, the art blog, sponsored by the Harford County Cultural Arts Board. So I guess I'm more like her than I want to admit.
She wrote her first cookbook in 2009.
I wrote my first book in 2020. I'm just going to use this to plug my shit.
Oh, no, please do. She's a New York author 3 times over.
Okay, I'm writing my 3rd book now, so, I'm up there with her.
She joined the Food Network in 2011.
I'm still working on that. I will say, I can't talk much about it, but I am in the process of working on a paranormal reality show. Ooh. So give me another year, and yeah, I'll talk to you about it off mic, though.
Lovely. She has a frozen food collab with Walmart.
Of course, she loves Walmart.
Yeah, she's a self-taught chef.
Okay, so she's not a cook, she's a chef, just like Bethany. Remember that Scary Island throwback?
Mm-hmm. I mean, you're not a cook, you're a chef, but yeah, no, she is a self-taught cook.
Oh, God. Don't tell Kelly Corinne Ben-Simone.
She's now the author of 3 children's books.
Oh, God. I can only imagine what the damn kids' books are. This is how to skin an ox.
She throws an iconic annual 4th of July bash.
She loves America. She loves America. And I'll tell you right now, I bet you she shops at Hobby Lobby. And I bet you, she probably checks at Walmart for her own fucking brand. Or no, fuck that bitch. That bitch is shopping at Barney's and whatnot because she got money and she's bougie as fuck. But I feel like all her decorations probably have a tinge of like white nationalism or something to them. Like white Christian nationalism.
She's definitely shopping at Target because, she's a girl just like you and me. And her favorite color is red. That's another fact. Red is her favorite color. So she's definitely shopping at Target.
Of course,
and we definitely to this 4th of July birthday barbecue bash next year. We need to be invited.
Okay, I'm down. I'll go.
She's a philosopher.
Oh, is she like Socrates and Plato?
Yep. And the last fact I want to share, she is a podcaster, just like you and me.
Oh, wow. Ree Drummond, come on the podcast. Let's have an intellectual disagreement.
Not disagreement. I thought you were going to say discussion, not disagreement.
Like, because I remember you started. We were talking, like, this was, like, last year, and I was like, you said, yes, you were like, watch The Pioneer Woman, because I was telling you how I like to watch, like, old school Food Network, and I was in the middle of writing my 2nd book, and I was talking about how I've always loved the Food Network and how I wanted to be on TV, and I remember that I went through a period where I learned how to cook because I wanted to be like Rachel Ray and Paula Deen, and you said, watch The Pioneer Woman, and I did, and I was like...
So funny.
I was like, what is this bitch? Oh my God.
And she's an icon. The red hair, like, she's...
No, but then, I
amazing.
also am a reality show and documentary like sponge. Like anything like that, I love. One of my favorite shows is was on CNBC called Lock Up, where they went into prisons. Shout out to the gay wing at Orange County Jail. Those ladies work like shit. I love that shit. And also the thing about the prison shows like Lock Up is they're not afraid to edit the people because they're in jail absolutely horribly. So it has a good villain edit, and they play into it with humor, which I love. But I'm watching it. Ree's making fucking street tacos. I'm like, where she's pouring chili into a bag of Doritos and eating with a fork. I'm like, oh, where have I seen that at? Oh, fucking Lock Up, because that's what they use to make with their commissary.
She makes Dutch skillet pancakes. She packs meals for her children. She does it all. And speaking of food, shout out to Food Network chef Michael Chiarello. He passed away recently, so shout out to him.
Rest in peace.
Yeah, 61 years old. Mm-hmm. Rumor has it big dick. I don't know.
He did have a big dick? Oh, that is sad.
Allegedly, but shout out to him. But no, honestly, I just love Ree. Her smiles, her laughter. I feel like I'm in the kitchen too when I'm watching her.
Well, when you're in the kitchen, do you have on her leggings that you can buy at Walmart, and does it match your crock pot and blender? It's the same exact pattern. I fucking can't stand that. I do not shop at Walmart. I go into Walmart. I feel like the fucking earth is dying every time I go in there. It's so capitalistic. And then I go in there and you see these fucking ugly ass leggings and these like moo type shirts. Like they remind me of the OC sky top they used to have, but it's like the trailer park version in some ugly ass floral print, like a pastel floral print. And then you can buy a crock pot and a blender and matching kitchen utensils that match the fucking leggings and that ugly ass top. All the pioneer woman. And there she is in some, $200 Nordstrom top with her hair and makeup professionally done, trying to like, I'm just like the people. I'm your neighbor in the trailer park. Bitch, no, you're not. You live in a $20 million ranch in Oklahoma, fucking that hot ass rich husband. I know how this game is. It should be Kristen Doute up there.
Ree Drummond is obviously wearing Ray Dunn from Target. And also, fun fact, she's not a Mormon. Contrary to popular belief, Ree Drummond is not a Mormon. She does believe in God, but she does not claim to be Mormon. And that's the last fact I have for you, Bear.
Oh, well.
Salt Lake. So sorry, she can't do Salt Lake.
No, she can't. I mean, I don't know. Ree's just... like, she's so full of shit. Like, I just watch it, and I'm like, I know exactly what I sit there, and I've done so many stand-up bits about that bitch. Like, I remember one time, I was at a drag show in Baltimore in full drag, and like, I left my set at home that I had some, like, Kathy Griffin-type set going, and I was like, fuck it, I'm gonna get my iPad out, because I have the Apple News app, and I got her, well, I think it was the spring 2022 magazine, and I just went to town because it's like Oprah. Like Oprah, I always say, so full of shit. Ree is full of shit. Yeah. Like there's so much to troll, and then she's always like, well, what was it? It was when she was doing her Christmas magazine and she was writing about different photos. She's like, and it's shot in June. Well, no shit, honey. That's the way fashion works. And then she's like, and I just keep saying, hold on, Ree. You'll be walking the dogs down the driveway and you'll be shivering and saying, you wish it was warm. And I'm like, be a professional. You don't see Naomi Campbell out there bitching about that, like shooting in a bikini in 30-degree weather. Like, shut the fuck up, Ree. Like, be a professional model.
Well, she probably just came from the set of her Hallmark Christmas movie, so maybe that's why she was cold.
That Hallmark Christmas movie is a hate watch. I mean, I'll take an edible and watch that because it is so bad. And there's so many plot points, and we never see the guy shirtless. I want to see the dude's nipples.
Well, remember, she's married. She's a respectful woman, so we did not see the man shirtless.
Is she a respectful woman?
I'm sure it was in the contract. I'm sure she said, no, he has to keep his shirt on because Lad wouldn't like that, so he has to keep his shirt on while we're filming.
Well, her audience wants to see the dude shirtless because the audience I mean, yeah, I might be talking to a guy, but I can still look at Candy.
Well, I'm sure if we go on down to one of her many restaurants in
The
Oklahoma,
Mercantile.
the Mercantile shop, I'm sure if we act nicely, she'll let Leia take off his shirt and entertain us.
Let's go. Let's book a. We'll podcast from there.
Oh my God, live!
Actually, you know what? Why we're on the podcast? I have my iPad in front of me. Let me see if this bitch has a new magazine out because there is. I could. It is so. It's just this bitch is so bad.
You know how much of a dream that would be the podcast with you live from the Mercantile? Like we're in space right now, but
she'll
live
send me a cease and desist. Damn. Oh, I don't think she's had a magazine out in a while.
I think she's filming.
Oh, you do? Okay. I mean, because I'm like, there's no mag. Damn. I can't with her.
I think it's obvious. You love her. I love you. I think we left it all on the floor now.
Yeah, that's true. We've been talking for like an hour and a half. So where can we find you? Where can we bug you at? Where can we send you the hate mail?
Yeah, please send all hate mail, all fan mail, and all Target, Starbucks, Trader Joe's, and Uber Eats gift cards to Semajh with an H over at Instagram and Semajh XCX over on Twitter. I will not spell any of those for you because Zenobia is a fantastic host, and Zenobia will put all that in the episode description. Please listen to this podcast. Obviously, subscribe to it. Leave it 5 stars. Tell your friends to, because there are so many other episodes that are going to be way better than this one for you to listen to.
Oh, this was a good episode, though. I will say. This was a good-ass episode.
No, oh my God, no. Zenobia is the best. We love, love, love. And yeah, whatever you do, when you go to your relatives, when you go to your in-laws, don't bring them sprinkle cookies. Make sure you get them Pingilly cookies.
Or if you bring the kind from Wegmans.
It means war. Yep, so there you go. Wegmans or Pingilly cookies. But if you bring someone sprinkle cookies, just know that they understand in that very moment you don't like them.
Yeah, exactly. So, So with that, all right, I gotta go. I'm going out farther past Pluto, so I'll talk to you later. I'll be in touch. All right,
bye.
Like and subscribe. Bye, bitches.